In the quiet hills of Bavaria in the 1970s, a story unfolded that seemed torn from a darker, superstitious age. It began with Anneliese Michel, a young woman plagued by experiences no doctor could explain or cure. Her case would soon grip Germany and the world, forcing a confrontation between faith, science, and the nature of evil. There are no easy answers here, only a series of increasingly disturbing events. Was Anneliese suffering from a misunderstood medical condition? Or, as she and her family believed, was she possessed? The line between these possibilities blurred, crossed and recrossed over months of fear and confusion. The events in her family home would lead to a courtroom, where belief and evidence collided in public view. The world watched, searching for meaning in tragedy. Anneliese was religious, studious, and loved, until something changed. A shadow fell over her life. It started with seizures, then visions of demonic faces, and voices whispering terrible things. She felt a presence, an evil she said was trying to consume her. Her search for answers led from doctors' offices to the ancient rites of the Catholic Church. This is not just Anneliese's story, but that of a family pushed to the edge, priests fighting a spiritual war, and a community caught between medicine and faith. The case forces us to look into the shadows and confront the unexplained. It leaves us with a chilling question: what really happened in that small German town? The answers remain as elusive as ever. But the story of Anneliese Michel still haunts us today. Anneliese Michel was born in 1952 in Bavaria, raised in a devout Catholic family. Her father owned a sawmill, her mother was a homemaker, and faith was the center of their lives. The family attended Mass twice a week, and Anneliese and her sisters were raised with a strong sense of sin and redemption. Even as a teenager, Anneliese's devotion was extreme. She slept on a stone floor as penance for others' sins. She was a good student, quiet, and wanted to become a teacher. The Michel family lived in Klingenberg am Main, a traditional town where the church shaped daily life. Their faith was a shield against the world's uncertainties, but it would soon be tested in unimaginable ways. Anneliese's deep beliefs shaped how she interpreted the strange things that began to happen. When the unexplainable started, her mind turned to spiritual explanations. She was a product of her environment, a thoughtful girl who believed in a world where good and evil were locked in battle. No one could have guessed she would soon believe herself at the center of that battle. Her story was about to take a dark and tragic turn. The line between faith and fear was about to disappear. In 1968, at 16, Anneliese suffered her first severe convulsion. The family sought medical help, but tests revealed nothing unusual. A year later, another seizure struck, prompting more tests. Still, no clear cause. Doctors tentatively diagnosed her with temporal lobe epilepsy, a condition that can cause hallucinations and altered states. Medication offered some hope, and Anneliese tried to continue her studies. But soon, her symptoms changed. While praying, she saw devil's faces and heard voices damning her to hell. She developed a sudden, intense aversion to religious objects. These new symptoms didn't fit the medical diagnosis. Anneliese began to believe her affliction was spiritual, not medical. The medications didn't stop the visions or voices. They only grew worse. Her life became a waking nightmare, a struggle against an unseen enemy. The line between illness and possession blurred. The Michel family was desperate for answers. Anneliese's medical journey was long and frustrating. Despite anticonvulsant drugs, her most disturbing symptoms persisted. Her condition worsened. She fell into depression, acted bizarrely, and even ate insects. Doctors diagnosed severe depression and epilepsy, but nothing helped. The combination of seizures, psychosis, and religious obsession was baffling. Medicine had reached its limits. The family saw no cure, only suffering. They believed something evil was at work, something science couldn't explain. Feeling abandoned by doctors, they turned to the church. The search for help was about to take a dramatic turn. The battle for Anneliese's soul had only just begun. With medicine failing, the Michel family became convinced Anneliese was possessed. Her violent aversion to holy objects and guttural voices terrified them. They sought help from their parish priest, but the church was cautious. The church required all medical explanations to be exhausted before considering exorcism. The family persisted, joined by a friend who witnessed Anneliese's episodes and advocated for them. Father Ernst Alt, after observing Anneliese, believed she was possessed and petitioned the bishop for an exorcism. After months of appeals, permission was granted in September 1975. Father Alt and Father Arnold Rentz were authorized to perform the Great Exorcism under strict secrecy. For the Michels, it was a profound relief. The church had entered the fray. They finally had allies who believed them. The stage was set for a battle between faith and darkness. The exorcism would soon begin. The exorcisms began in late September 1975, continuing for 10 months. Sessions were intense, led by Fathers Alt and Rentz in Anneliese's bedroom. They followed the ancient Roman ritual, demanding the demons reveal themselves and depart. Anneliese's behavior was violent. She screamed, cursed, and displayed unnatural strength. The priests recorded over 40 audio tapes, capturing chilling voices claiming to be Lucifer, Cain, Judas, and others. For Anneliese, the rituals were devastating. She was weak and exhausted, but believed this was her only hope. She performed hundreds of genuflections, injuring herself in the process. The family lived in constant fear, their home a spiritual battleground. The exorcism was not a single event, but a siege that slowly destroyed her. The tapes captured not just terror, but exhaustion and desperation. The line between salvation and suffering blurred. The cost was mounting with every session. As the exorcisms dragged on, Anneliese's health collapsed. She refused to eat, claiming demons prevented her. Her body wasted away, malnutrition and dehydration set in. She was bedridden, feverish, and covered in bruises and sores. No doctors were called. The family and priests believed only exorcism could save her. On June 30th, 1976, the final rite was performed. Anneliese, barely conscious, spoke her last words, "Beg for absolution, and mother, I'm afraid." She died the next morning at 23. An autopsy revealed she weighed just 68 pounds. Her death became a national scandal. The image of her emaciated body shocked Germany. How could this happen in modern times? The tragedy was over, but the legal and moral reckoning was just beginning. The world demanded answers. The Michel family's ordeal was far from finished. Anneliese's death led to one of Germany's most sensational trials. In 1978, her parents and the two priests were charged with negligent homicide. The prosecution argued they let her starve while focusing on exorcism instead of medical care. The trial became a public debate between science and religion. Medical experts testified her symptoms matched epilepsy and psychosis, and that proper treatment could have saved her. The defense argued the family and priests acted out of sincere belief, playing exorcism tapes in court. In the end, all four were found guilty, but received suspended sentences and probation. The verdict satisfied no one, leaving the central questions unresolved. The case fueled debate for years. Science and faith had clashed, but neither side claimed victory. The mystery of Anneliese Michel endured. The story of Anneliese Michel remains unsettling, caught between science and faith. From a medical perspective, it's a tragedy of misdiagnosed mental illness and neglect. Her epilepsy, depression, and psychosis could explain her symptoms. Her death, a preventable result of failed intervention. The exorcisms may have reinforced her delusions, trapping her in fear and suffering. But for believers, Anneliese was a victim of genuine spiritual assault. They point to her supposed knowledge of unknown languages, her strength, and the chilling audio tapes. Was she a martyr, suffering for others, or a sick girl failed by those who should have helped? The central question remains: where does mental illness end and spiritual crisis begin? The case offers no clear answer. For some, the spiritual world is as real as the physical, with deadly consequences. The truth lies buried with Anneliese. Her story forces us to confront the limits of what we know and what we fear. The shadows of Klingenberg still linger.